guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have that mid-size truck that has just laid the smackdown on the competition, especially that Tacoma TRD Pro. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Ford Ranger Raptor. But before we get into this smaller size performance truck, let's talk about what's going on here. So mid-size truck segment, there are some big changes going on. You do have brands like Nissan, which are sticking with their tried and true naturally aspirated V6. You can get a Pro 4X. You could even get a Roush equipped Frontier. You can go Toyota with the TRD Pro. A lot of people are upset about that truck because of the 4-cylinder turbo and the hybrid power plant. Or you could just cut to the chase and go with this truck here, the Ranger Raptor. Now what's cool is for 2025, this is a new color. It's called Marsh Grey. But the great news is there's nothing that has changed since last year's introduction of this mighty mid-size truck. So what I want to find out is, at the end of the day, is this the must-own mid-size, especially over competition like the TRD Pro from Toyota? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this one and find out. Right off the bat, I love just the presence of this truck. It has such an aggressive look, so purposeful. And what I like about it, it's not just an F-150 Raptor that's been shrunk in the dryer. It has its own identity. At the front of the business, they did a great job with that C-shaped LED daytime running lamps, LED turn signals, and LED headlights. This one does have the optional Raptor graphics. Starts on the hood, and then I'll show you the rest of it as we go down the side. You do get the fender flare, nice and extra wide, and I like the way it's a satin flat black finish to it. Coming down to ground level, LED fog lamps, little bit of functional corner air curtain, and you have a stamped steel front bumper. Now, believe it or not, there's over 10 inches of ground clearance. You have the Fox Racing 2.5 suspension, and just a very sculpted front end. Now, as we come across the grille, you are going to get a forward-facing camera, and I'm very happy to report you do have a washer. Love the way they just take that Ford name and put it in the grille. Fully functional. Working our way down, you have a mail slot here, and then we have a massive opening for more air because we do have that large intercooler lurking behind there. Now, I do have to zonk the fake vents here. That's a big no-no, especially on a Ranger Raptor. But you do have the required front tow hooks and full metal skid plate protection underneath the belly of this beast. You have the locking diffs, all of that performance in this mid-size 4x4 truck. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, what about the Raptor lights? I want my Raptor lights. Technically, if you want the Raptor lights, what people call the Raptor lights, you have to go F-150. The reason why they're there is not because it's a Raptor, guys. They're not called, Ford doesn't call them Raptor lights. They're there because of the extra width of an F-150 Raptor, just like on a TRX. Does a TRX have Raptor lights? No. It has the auxiliary lights that are required by the Department of Transportation because of the extra width of the vehicle. This truck does not have them because it's a mid-size, even though it is wider than a standard Ranger. But let me know what you think about the face of this Ranger Raptor, especially in Marsh Grey. Now, as we rise up, good looking hood. I like the indentation in the center. You got your heat extractors on both sides, nice flat black. And then coming around the bend, what do we got? Wheel and tires. So what you're gonna find are these flat black V-spoke design wheels, 33-inch off-road tires. So these are those BF Goodrich all-terrain TA KO3 tires. Lots of sidewall protection there. This is a 17-inch wheel. Tire size is 285 on the width, 70 series sidewall. And then I'm gonna have Steven kind of zoom in and show off the upper control arm, your upright, the springs, and like I said, those Fox Racing shock absorbers, all four corners. It does ride on a steel box frame, and you got plenty of wheel travel action that's going to be able to take place. But let me know what you think about the wheels with the color of this Marsh Grey. Now, as we come down the side, you do have a functional side fender vent. Steven's going to spin around and show that one off to you. We do have Marsh Grey on your mirror caps, 360-degree cameras. This does have the optional key code access. Not my favorite thing when it comes to aesthetics, but it is cool because you can lock your keys in the truck and not have to worry about the fob. You could just use your key code. Color matched on the door handles. You have Ranger Raptor specific running boards, nice powder coated black. And then you'll easily see the Raptor graphics as they spill from the rear of the cab onto the bed. Classy enough, not too over the top, and I like the color matching that they did. The big zonk though has got to be that antenna up there. I don't know why they don't just do a shark fin antenna. That makes it look like an RC car. Not my favorite. But you'll be able to see the rear Fox suspension in the back. And then coming around the rear, of course you have a rear locking diff. Love the way they did the black Ford badge on the rear of the vehicle. You got your Raptor badge. You see how the graphics kind of spill onto the tailgate from the front and the side. Dropping down to ground level, you do have two massive tow recovery hooks. We have those stainless steel tips, active exhaust. You can make it louder, you can make it quieter. This does have Baja mode, remember? And then you'll see all the tow receiver hookup, and I love the way they mount the tire nice and high to give you the most ground clearance and departure angle. It's all shaped for that great off-roading. And then of course, nice soft release. You do have a ruler on the tailgate, so you can measure whose is bigger when it comes to, you know, lengths of wood, baseball bats, sticks, those types of things. And then you have your full bed liner, all the the tie down locations. And then on the driver's side, you do have a home power source, which is really nice, and LED bed lighting. But why don't we go ahead, talked about the outside, let's talk about that V6, twin turbo V6 underneath the hood. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I am gonna zonk it. This should have hood struts. Underneath though, yes, it's a spaghetti pasta bowl mess of wires and tubes and everything. You can actually see there's one of the turbos, one of those Garrett turbos on the passenger side. Of course, the other one's on the driver's side. But what do we have? Like I said, it's a 3-liter twin turbo V6, 405 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque. It's bolted to a 10-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds. Top speed is governed to 107 miles per hour. The truck weighs 5,372 pounds. MPGs, 16 in the city, 18 on the highway. Remember, with the Ranger Raptor, it actually tows less than the regular Ranger. It's 5,510 pounds. Payload capacity is 1,411 pounds. And like I said, we have those 33-inch tires, 10.7 inches of ground clearance, and a new color called Marsh Grey. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this Baja-inspired off-roader and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Ranger Raptor. You know, man, what a killer truck. And it's been a long time coming, right? I mean, we have waited here in the States longer than in other parts of the world, but I really do feel it was worth the wait. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, lay it on me. This truck has got to be 70 grand. No. Unless you're going to go buy a TRD Pro Tacoma, those are around 70 grand. This one, the way it sits, has an MSRP of $59,000, and that's with the optional Marsh Grey color, which is an extra cost. But let's see if Ranger Raptor just does it all better than everybody else. To the door panels, love the materials. That Alcantara style material, little bit of gray finish, no gloss black. I wish there was some orange contrast stitching. That would have been a nice touch, so I am going to zonk that. Door pocket though, you can go off-roading at the Renfest in this thing. Get yourself a Renfest turkey leg and a big old bottle of sarsaparilla to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, more of that Alcantara. I do like the code orange color around the AC vents. You do have your off-road Twinkie tray, 13 Twinkies, a baker's dozen. Open this up, this is where you can put your gloves in the glove box. You can have your Michael Jackson glove, your Mickey Mouse gloves, your O.J. Simpson isotoner gloves. Put them all in there. Easy, nice flat black trim. Slide on in, you have that over 12-inch portrait style infotainment system. I normally don't like portrait style, but you gotta give it some props because I do like the way it's integrated into the center console. You have the orange looking good. It's all easy access. This Sync 5 system is a breeze, and what's great about it is that it's actually quick functioning when you go through all the different options and stuff. So easy to get in all that. You got different apps and icons. You got your zone lighting. You could even do your little sketch here. I'm gonna draw you a picture of Steven. This is Stephen Flood, everybody. I know a lot of people want to know what he looks like. And then he has a bucket hat that he always wears. There we go. There we go. We'll give him some biceps. And then there is the camera. There we go. Flood photography. Perfect. Now you can throw it into reverse. Nice clear resolution. You do have trajectory. We got a 360 cam, panoramic view, all those goodies. And then right back where we started. Stephen Flood. Working our way down, we have our dual climate control, volume knob, wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A, and a place where you could put some Tootsie Rolls. I like the way they have this Slim Jim holder here. It really shows that Ford focuses on the important stuff. There's our shifter for our 10-speed automatic, and here finally is our orange shift. I almost said a weird word. Our orange stitching. I wish they would have brought the stitching other places. You do get a Raptor-specific key fob, which is nice. Got your drive modes. I'll show you that when you come to the business side. That's how you adjust your 4x4. Soft touch. Where's my orange stitching? Open it up. You got a decent amount of room. There's a 12 volt, and I would say you could probably put 21 packs of unopened Pokemon cards. Steven's a big Pokemon guy, and he's waiting for the big windfall so he can stop working with me. So we'll see what happens. Seats, love the soft touch. The Raptor name with the orange. Great bolstering. Electric assist for the passenger. Electric assist for the driver. No sunroof though. I'm okay with it. I know a lot of you out there love sunroofs. I don't care. It's a more solid structure without cutting a hole in the roof. And you do have your auxiliary switches. So you could get an air horn, a siren, a winch, all sorts of goodies. And you could wire it all up. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in this Ranger Raptor. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Now, you do get a nice sill plate with the Ford Performance name, but the zonk is, where's my aluminum pedals? There's nothing. They're just rubber and plastic. That's a big zonk in a Ford Performance vehicle. I do like the way you have all your seat controls, though, which is nice. All electric. Seats are great. Lateral support, the overall comfort. I'm 6 feet tall. There's plenty of room in here. Steering wheel, great leather. The perforated, there's my orange stitching, the Raptor name. It's just the horn button here is a little bland. I wish they would have done something a little nicer. Maybe just put Raptor. And I like the orange top dead center as you're off-roading. You do get massive metal paddles to go up and down that 10-speed automatic. And then I do really love the dash layout. You could bring up, you hit the R mode button, and that shows your different personal settings. I could go into my drive modes. Look at this. Really, really cool having all that. I know Steven loves modes. The more modes, the merrier. That's what he says. Just so you know, there is no head-up display. But you do have a B&O sound system, which is nice. And 3 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. But let's get into the back seat because I want to take you for a spin in this Ranger Raptor. All right, guys, back seat time. And you know what? The Ranger overall just has a lot of room in the back, which I'm actually quite impressed compared to some of the other competitors. I'm also not sitting totally upright, which I prefer. I like to lean back just a little bit and relax. You do have large pockets. This is where you can put 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, maybe some Thin Mints. Here's a little trick. Take the Thin Mints, put them in a freezer. Now we're talking. You do have this open thing here. I wish they had AC vents, but they don't. You could basically slide a regular hamburger or cheeseburger from McDonald's. Just slide it right in there. USB-C, USB-A, home power source. Like I said, the seats are comfy. Pull this down. Ooh, soft on the armrest. 2 cup holders. And you have a power sliding rear glass window. But why don't we go ahead? It's that time. Let's put in full Baja mode and go on throttle in this Ranger Raptor. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Marsh Grey Ranger Raptor, leaving Walker Ford. I'm gonna come to a complete stop. Nobody's behind us as of yet. Are you ready? We're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Nice. Love the real deal sound coming out of the exhaust. You don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff being pumped in through the B&O sound system. You got that beautiful 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Easy to get to this vertical portrait style infotainment system. And I love the fact that it's integrated, nice and clean. Visibility out the front is great. Even how the transmission downshifts, especially when you're in sport mode, it just really has a nice blip and keeps the throttle and everything totally stable. Chassis is totally stable, and I love that about this setup. Plenty of power, tad over 400 horsepower, and then of course you're getting all of the Ranger Raptor safety features. You're able to go into your different modes. See, you hear that little blip. I love it when it downshifts. Keeps everything rock solid, stable. Got your different modes, your 4x4. And it's an easy truck to drive. What I love about it, it's a good size. I mean, the regular Raptor, the F-150 Raptor, it's a nice truck, but it's a big truck. This is more manageable, especially if you're going to daily drive it a little bit more in the urban jungle side of things. But the seats are very, very comfortable, very supportive. And I just love the look at it. I could just stare at this truck all day long and just drool. That's how good it looks. All right, guys, we pulled away from that light. We're going down the highway. And when you gotta merge on throttle, not a problem in this truck. Gets up the speed nicely, plenty of power, plenty of torque. Now, there is a bit of road noise from those 33-inch BF Goodrich tires, and there's a bit of wind noise too, but I think that's just one of the things that you have to compromise with when it comes to driving a performance off-road truck like this one is. But the seats are really, really great. I absolutely adore the seats. And then what's good about it is that they're heated, they're just not ventilated. I guess that would be the one nice extra thing if they could have made the seats ventilated, but they still feel good nonetheless. I just love the feedback in the wheel. the overall driving comfort, and like I said, the performance is second to none. Going in this turn here. And for a truck, I mean, there's not a bunch of body roll. You ready? On throttle, here we go. That's the other thing is that don't think because this is an off-road truck that it's gonna be swaying and bobbing all over the place. It's very buttoned up. That Fox racing suspension has been specifically tuned for this platform, and it shows. I mean, it just shows that easily. It's just a fun truck. It's a truck that gets looks. And it's a truck that you're gonna enjoy looking at every time you open up the garage or step out of work and go into the parking lot. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of this 2025 Ranger Raptor in Marsh Grey. We're gonna get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another day, another amazing Ford performance vehicle from Walker Ford. Definitely gotta thank Frank Walker, Wes Walker, Tracy, the whole team, getting us access to this Marsh Grey 2025 Ranger Raptor. Let me know what you think. Must-own performance midsize truck? I would think you would have to be crazy to say no, it's not. And I'm just being honest. But let me know in the comment section, what are your honest thoughts of the Ranger Raptor? But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raise Rise family. Got to give up to Stephen Flood. Right now, he is designing a special apparatus so that he can work the camera and lift dumbbells at the same time. So Stephen's really just an innovator and a world shaker. So thank you, Stephen, for all of your amazingness. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.